Okay, this is your acid and bases naming and formula writing quiz that we took the other day. I'm going to spend a few more minutes on a couple of these than others from common mistakes, but here we go. So the first thing is anytime you have an OH, you're going to have a base, and anytime you are going to have an H out front, you're going to have an acid. Okay, so this is your hydroxide, this is your hydrogen. So I should see acid in every single one of them that have H there, and hydroxide if they have an OH in them. So this first one is just sodium hydroxide. Pretty straightforward. Sodium is an A group metal. Spelling will count on your test. And so there you go. This next one, I see the H out front, so I know it's going to be an acid. So I know it's going to be some type of acid, but because there is this sulfite out or paired with it, I know that I'm not going to use the word hydro. So this is going to be sulfur. Now sulfur is one of those exceptions where we write out the entire word of sulfur, right? And because this is O3, SO3, this is going to be sulfite, which turns into OUS. So sulfurous acid is your answer. The next one, this is going to be an acid again because it has the H, but because there's only two elements here, I know that I'm going to start with the word hydro. Because that's sulfur, I put sulfur. Once again, I always spell out the word sulfur. It's an exception. And then I put ic at the end, hydrosulfuric acid. All right. The next one, so an acid again because of the H, and this is piatomic, so I know that I'm not going to use the word hydro. And I know that this is phosphate, so that 8 turns into, ic. So I know that this is going to be phosphoric acid. There we go. Now, phosphorus is another exception. All right. It's not phosphic. We're going to keep this OR at the end and then add the ic. Or if it happened to be PO3, it would be phosphorus, OUS. But in this case, since it's phosphate, this is going to be phosphoric. You will have to spell this correct on your quiz and test coming up. So you need to know the exceptions for phosphor and sulfur. The next one, this was mentioned many times in class. This is ammonia. Okay? Ammonia, this is a base. This is actually a Bronsted-Lowry base that we've been talking about in class. The next one, this was counted as a bonus. But yes, this is a polyatomic ion of cyanide. But these rules of the ic or the us only occur in oxyacids. So this is not an oxyacid because it does not have oxygen in the polyatomic ion. So it's just going to follow like binary acids of hydrocyanic acid. Once again, this was a bonus question. If you got it wrong, and many did, I didn't count it against you. Next one, the next two are going to be bases. So they have that hydroxide. So there's some calcium hydroxide. Calcium is in the A block, so it does not need a Roman numeral. Iron is in the transition block, so it does need a Roman numeral. Iron hydroxide. And where does that Roman numeral come from? That 3 tells me it's charged, so this should be iron 3 hydroxide. Next one, this is an acid because of the H. So this is, and it's only 2, so this is binary. I start with hydro. And this is phosphorus, so once again, phosphoric acid. Spelling will count. Make sure, remember phosphorus that has that little change to it where we phosphor, and then I'm going to add the ending needed. Okay? The next set where I'm writing the formula of what I have. So hydro means there's going to be 2 letters. And it's an acid, so one of them has to be an H. The other one is going to come from fluoric, which is fluorine, HF. Once again, hydro means there's going to be, it's an acid, so there's going to be 2. Selenium is Se, and selenium has a -2 charge. So that 2 will come down here. So it's going to be H2SE. The next one, carbonic acid. Now this ic, once again, just like that I had up here, this ic came from 8. So carbonate is CO3 with a -2 charge. If I have hydrogen here, so it comes out to be H2CO3. Lithium hydroxide. These are the little easier ones. There you go. Hydroxide because of that OH. This is a base. Nitrous acid. So OUS, if I look at my previous ones again, OUS came from ite. So nitrite is NO2 with a -1. Acid, so there's an H. So my answer is HNO2. Okay. 15. Cobalt 2 hydroxide. Well, cobalt has that +2 because that charge, that Roman numeral tells me the charge, OH. And some of you got in trouble because you put your answer as CO, and then you crossed up that 2, OH2. But the problem is there are 2 hydroxides, so you got to have your parentheses around that hydroxide. Sulfuric acid, once again, ic came from 8, so this should be sulfate. Sulfate is SO4 with a -2 charge. Acid, so I know I had to add an H. When I cross that down, I should get H2SO4 as my answer. Next one, beryllium hydroxide. Well, I have a hydroxide with a -1. Be is a +2. So when I cross those down, once again, BeOH2 is incorrect. You have to have the parentheses around OH because there are 2 of them. And the last one, hydrobromic acid. So hydro, because it's an acid, I know I'm going to have hydrogen. Hydro means there's only going to be 2 elements. Well, the other one has to be bromine, which is Br +1 -1. HBr is your answer. Okay, this was out of 18 points. If you got this completely correct, hydrocyanic acid, there was a possibility of 2 more points as bonus. I hope that helps.